It was one of the most controversial policies undertaken by a government never shy of controversy. In 2003, the administration of former Thai Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra launched a ruthless war on drugs. Users and dealers endured beatings, forced confessions, arbitrary arrests, and even death. Human Rights Watch says 2,500 people were killed during the crackdown. Now, the military government that overthrew Thaksin has launched a wide-ranging investigation into the killings. I'm Veronica Pedroza, and in this edition of 101 East, we look at the latest twist in the battle between the generals and Thaksin. The inquiry into the deaths during the war on drugs will look at whether the police were, in effect, allowed to kill with impunity. That claim's been frequently made by human rights groups, but critics of the commission say it's purely political, an attempt by the government to blacken the reputation of Thaksin. 101 East invited Thai journalist Karuna Buakamsri to investigate. Here's her report.
In the hills north of Bangkok, Tham Krabok has all the trappings of other grand temples in Thailand. That is where the similarities end. Here in the buildings that look more like a prison than a temple, drug addicts from across the country have come for the last chance to beat the habit.
Coming here, I have to swear to the mother of earth and sky, and that will make me scared to use drugs again.
But they must do more than just swear. The treatment here involves drinking a foul liquid every day that induces repeated vomiting. This is believed to be the key to cleansing oneself of addiction. School children are often brought to watch to try to steer them away from the path taken by many other Thais. Just a few years ago, Thailand has the highest rate of methamphetamine use in the world. Images of desperate addicts seem to be everywhere. This incident ended peacefully, with the hostage released, but others did not. The timing was right for former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra's war on drugs, launched in 2003. Those involved in the drug trade were targeted, and many alleged simply eliminated.
That killings occurred under an elected government, under a so-called democratic system. And at one point, it was so popular that people just ignored the due process of law.
The cost was high. 2,500 people are thought to have died during the crackdown. Human Rights Watch says that a brutal campaign by the Royal Thai Police touched every corner of the country. Drug users endure beatings, forced confessions, and arbitrary arrests. And in sleepy villages like Sapsadao, they know all too well that innocent victims were caught up in the violence. Sa and Kao Pumala say the war on drugs left their lives shattered.
I'm very sad and pained about what happened to my daughter.
After their daughter and son-in-law hit the lottery jackpot in Bangkok, they came home and poured much of the winnings into this simple shop.
People started to wonder why they had so much money. We didn't tell anybody about winning the lotto. So when we started building a house and buying a car, people suspected we must be in the drug business.
That suspicion proved fatal. Police accused them of being drug dealers. And in March 2003, they were shot dead outside the village. The killers have never been found. Sa Pumala says his daughter was a victim of a system that rewarded police officers for killing alleged drug dealers.
If you encourage people like this, how can a normal citizen like me live life as normal? Nobody can.
Despite the criticism from human rights groups and the international community, No partner has ever properly investigated the violence until now. The military-installed government has launched an inquiry into the web of killing during Thaksin Shinawatra's war on drugs. The committee is being led by a former Attorney General and includes well-known human rights campaigners, along with critics of Thaksin's regime. It will examine whether security forces took the law into their own hands, or whether the deaths were simply dealers killing each other, as the Thaksin government claimed.
So it is very important that this commission comes out with the truth as close as possible, recompensate the victims as appropriately as possible, which means how much does human life is worth, take measure against the culprits.
This being Thailand, politics is also playing a role. Allies of Thaksin Shinawatra say this is nothing more than the latest attempt by Thailand's military-backed government to discredit the ousted Prime Minister. They say the investigative committee is a fraud.
They seized power in 2006, and they did everything they could to launch the massive destruction of Thaksin's reputation, assets, people, legacy, and good memories about him. Why would they stop now?
Back at the temple, the monks in charge say the controversy has obscured the most important point. Not long after the war on drugs, the number of addicts returned to previous levels. The victories in Thaksin's war were fleeting.
War on drugs is not going to work as long as our children are still ignorant and lacking education. The problem will remain. It's not going away.
Well, more now on the new investigation into the deaths during the crackdown on drugs. I'm joined by Nick Cheeseman of the Asian Human Rights Commission and by Prawit Rojanapruk of Thailand's The Nation newspaper. He covered the story extensively in 2003, I believe, and he keeps a close eye on political developments in the kingdom. We're also joined from Bangkok by Kuteb Saikrachang. He's a former Deputy Secretary General of Thaksin's Thai Thai Party and is now a spokesman for the People Power Party. Welcome everyone to 101 East. I want to start with a question to you, Kun Pravit. What do you think? Is this just a hunt for justice, or is this a cynical political ploy, this investigation?
Well, perhaps it's a bit of both. Clearly, there's a valid case for the investigations or for a truly impartial committee to look into the matter. But on the other hand, I think one must ask why has the committee been just set now, nearly a year after the junta staged the coup? So the timing is rather suspicious, and I'm afraid it has also been used as a political tool.
What are your hopes then, your expectations from the investigation?
Well, it's a mixed bunch of people in there, as the reporter mentioned earlier. Though I must say a few of the figures there are staunch anti-Thaksin personalities, and so I think it might raise some problems about how impartial the committee are. But having said that, I totally support the need for having a truly neutral committee to look into the matter, and it could have been done earlier. The question now is that why they haven't done that 11 months ago, right after they took power. And I think part of the answer lies in the fact that, ironically, the war on drugs was hugely popular amongst the Thai people.
Hugely popular, but in the end, very brutal. Kun Kuteb in Bangkok. You were in Thai Party at the time that this was happening. Why did these people have to die?
Well, you know, if you look at Thai society at that time, you know, you have seen the news every day about people killing one another, particularly the drug addict, taking people hostage, trying to kill the victims. And there is a story of a grandson killing grandma just because they could not afford him to buy drugs. So people called for the crackdown, and after Kun Thaksin got the mandate from the people, he had to continue with the policy he declared during his campaign.
But was it really a mandate to hunt out people involved in the drugs trade without any due process?
Well, in the crackdown like that, we have respect the law. We have followed the due process. But people, the critic can say that we cannot, we could not, we failed to respect the due process. But actually, we did not order anyone to kill anyone illegally. That is the fact, But some people might have been dead or might have been killed. That's because, a lot of factors, particularly a chain killing among the drug dealers or drug agents. Agents did not want the dealers to blame them on the problem. Then they might have killed the dealers before they came close to them. So you think, is chain killing.
Right.
So
So you think the deaths were
we didn't
drug dealers against
intend
drug
to kill
dealers?
anyone, Yes, that happened.
I'd like to bring Nick Cheeseman into the discussion. What do you think about Kun Kuteb's defense of the situation at the time? What evidence do you have to the contrary?
Well, frankly, we would find that his explanation is a little bit disingenuous, for the reason that from the very start of the so-called war, Thaksin Shinawatra, the Prime Minister, and many of the persons directly underneath him used language which explicitly encouraged the killings of persons who were allegedly involved in the drug trade, in conjunction with a series of executive orders that were issued for the purpose of ensuring that that could occur. Now, those orders didn't specifically say, go and kill people, but they did allow for the environment in which that was to take place. In particular, one order which was issued quite a month or two into the activities already was a revised schedule of rewards for persons who are involved in the drug trade, in cracking down on the drug trade, the police officers especially, that encouraged officers actually to kill rather than to apprehend their suspects.
A lot more questions to be asked. We're going to take time now for a short pause. After it, we'll be continuing our discussion here on 101 East and hearing one heroin addict's story about how he came to turn to drugs.